The sun, it goes down in Jemison, which is not advantageous for making a video of this nature when I'm trying to show off a ship. But that's fine because we kind of go in here to show off the ships initially. Today's ship is the Leviathan, an absolute unit of an abyss. No, I'll go with the abyss. It's an abyss treaker killer. An abyss treaker killer inspired by the abyss trekker, a ship that when I finally saw it for sale, I bought it. I save scum bought it for the lulz, looked through it, and I'm like, this ship's a freaking joke. Is this a good ship? I don't know. I think I can do better. And this is what I came up with. Now, I already have a video out there in the wild, most likely, of me initially kind of putting the framework of this ship down. But it's been many, many, many hours later since I built this ship. And I feel like maybe now it is in something representative of its final form. So I figured now is the time to officially make a video, a build video about it, showing you this ship. And quite possibly, there's actually 2 variations that I have of it. So, let us go take a look inside. One thing that automatically makes this ship better than the Abyss Trekker is the Cabot Bridge, even though I kind of like the aesthetic and the vibe of the overtop bridge. That ship it was big, but not big enough, and it had entirely too many ladders. But we still kept this like forward-facing side landing bay right here, in which is our part of our compartmentalized entry point. Something that I like to do on ships sometimes.
It's always good to be back.
You good, Barrett? So, it's not necessarily a cargo ship, but we enter right into a modest cargo bay hab, and as is the compartmentalized entry point, our docker. Our bottom docker's right there. Lander, docker. Lander, docker. Look at that. We just come right in here. And it makes sense because this is, you'd be loading stuff in here. Now, this ship doesn't have a lot of cargo. It's not a cargo ship. It's got enough, especially on a beginning game ship, but it doesn't have a lot. But it does have a window. And the Stroud cargo bay has a washroom, which gives us a washroom on the main level. So, we needed to use one of these Hope Tech stretcher bidder here's in order to force a door to be there, because of course the game, it just hates front doors. It just hates. It will do ladders first, side doors second, and if all else fails, then it'll finally give us a front door. But you know what's funny? Stroud has a companionway a storeroom that only has one side. And I actually used that companionway or that storeroom here and here. So I would have a window looking out here, but it wouldn't make a connection here. So I could put the door back there, but it glitched. I had no way to get upstairs because the game insisted on putting a door here. So this is what I had to do. But it's okay because I really like this layout. This layout is very sensical. We come in the ship, we're into our cargo, we go through the hallway to this little main hub here. Oh, there's a side. This side goes into a 3x1 all-in-one hab. Why are you glowing? Did your quest finally unlock? I guess it might have. 4 beds, a bathroom, little storage area, little recreational area. They can play some darts, and a bit of a galley. So this is our main level. This is our deep sleep area. Night shift. Nobody's working here. Nobody's really working in engineering. Nothing's going on. Most of the crew wants to sleep. They can come down here and sleep. Now, one thing the Abyss Trekker kind of did that was silly, which gave us like a lot of extra weight, but not a lot of extra function, is that whole side section, that whole off-center side section was useless. It was all just structural material and garbage. There was nothing there. This side section is the engineering section. It's functional. Now, in this particular iteration version of the ship, we have our you know, one of these, the computer room. So right now we're kind of doing the kitchen sink thing where we have a little bit of everything here. So I decided to throw a computer room into the engineering section, even though I didn't feel it necessary, and I don't have it in the second version of this. Now from here, we go back into what's known as the engineering bay, because as I mentioned, I like all my ships to have engineering bays if I can help it, especially if they're larger ships. As lore, you need a place to have the ventilation subunits, you need a place to have whatever the hell that is, whatever, you know, there's things that you need, life support, plumbing, electrical, all that stuff. Breakers. Breakers. Those look like they're breakers. Yeah. You're gonna notice no ladders, completely compartmentalized. And this is the Nova Galactic cross brace thing here. So we go back to this main area and we look forward, and this is going to be the bottom of the cabin, where we have the stairs. Oh, it's so nice. This is a luxury ship, by the way. A lot of living area it's designed for. It's not necessarily designed to be a combat ship, even though it can hold its own. It's not designed to certainly be a cargo or an outposting ship. Though in the beginning, I did maybe have an outpost variant of it where I had a workshop right as you came in off the loading bay lander. This brings us to our upper level. Right off the bridge, we have our control stations. Our battle station hab. Battle station hab for all the people to do the things. And this is one of the reasons why I didn't really feel the need to put a computer room in this, because, you know, the in a smaller ship or the skinnier layouts, you have the control stations and then you have your computer room, and they take up 2 by 2 if you put them side by side. But either way, they take up about that amount of space. This, I feel like this room would serve as both. Control stations, battle stations, with like enough equipment to be roughly equivalent CPU compute horsepower as the full featured. Are you okay, bud? What happened? You just stopped talking. You know, the computer room. So, of course, right close to the bridge, right off the battle station, we have this room right here. And what is this room? Oh, that's our captain's quarters. Only makes sense. The captain's quarters is going to be here, right? Yeah. Leaving the captain's quarters, we go right across. We have another one of those cross braces, those Nova Galactic, bringing us to the engineering section. This is a Nova Galactic. I believe it's called the living area. It's certainly not much of a hab, though it does have
books for me?
one bed. And you ask for books, but I don't even know there's a mechanic to give her a book. So this is a break room. That's the idea. You know, you have staff here, crew here. This is a quick place they could pop in, you know, have a quick seat. I have this for the washroom and the coffee machine, honestly. So the crew, they could come and they can grab themselves a posh ass coffee. They can, you know, use the facilities. There is a napping area. Because this has 8 crew, we need beds, right? So that's 5 beds so far that we've counted, not including mine. And then we have like a little conference area, you know, little snacky area. You're gonna notice a common theme with this ship. It's a cruiser. It's a chill cruiser. Like, what's your crew gonna do while they're waiting for you to survey a planet all alone or take on a bounty all alone? Well, they have ample areas. So we have this thing here, and it's only there because I felt like I needed something on the top of the ship. Otherwise, we could delete this thing and save ourselves some weight. I call it the crow's nest. So it's just a storeroom, aka companionway, I forget which it is, with just windows all around. Windows up, windows back, windows side. A crew member could come up here and have a 360 lookout of the ship all around. Maybe it's a nice place to like relax and rip a dart, or maybe it's just like, oh boy, there's, oh, Our engine's taking damage. Is it okay? Okay, we jump up here. Oh yeah, I can see the freaking engine's on fire. Just gotta turn on the fire suppression and something. Or, you know, I almost feel like this shouldn't have a window at the front because like you got weapons there and maybe concussion of the weapons would like blow out the window. You know, you think of things like, I think of things like this. You might not think of things like this. What is that supposed to be? I don't know. We're in the crow's nest. So we go through to the back. And what do we have here? A Stroud-Eklund living quarters. Living area. One of the poshest living areas, aside from the fact that it doesn't quite have a viewing area. You know, we have this little atrium here coming in, just come through here, and then we have the couch, and we have a big paper towels that have been left out, and then there's a little place to sit, and I have a table, and then a workout kind of. You know, they have the big dumbbells, but they don't have the little cranking machine. Ooh, that might be because I put a window there, and that deleted the cranking machine. The lifter machine. Oh, we have a washroom. That's always good to have. You know, I guess they could come back here to the washroom, or they can go out there to the washroom. Break room. Oh, water cooler. Toaster oven. Exotic wood decoration. Luggage. Is that another one of those desk assistants? They're just breeding captivity. Rear window. Lots of windows here. Very picturesque ship. Now we go off here. Off the... Oh, there's another window. Off the back of the living area, we go here. This used to be the hab, but it's the galley now. It's the kitchen. With crap piled up. Why did they put this here? Did I accidentally grab something? What is that? A paper tray. Why would a paper tray have... Oh, that's a paperweight on the paper tray. A fan. We get another 2 beds. That's 5, 6, 7 beds total. For a crew capacity of 8 when one is a robot. So it's like, it'll work. It'll work. I kind of figure Marika Boris, which is unofficially my second in command, she would sleep in the rest area, in the break room, maybe. I've caught Barrett sleeping in here, which makes sense because he's the foodie. So it's like, I guess he's unofficially the ship's cook. He likes cooking. But we have a proper full kitchen. Managed to set this up so there's not really a kitchen anywhere else. We might... Yeah, we have one downstairs in that hab area. But yeah, kitchen, table, more kitchen-y stuff. 2 toaster ovens. We have a lot of options because that's the only thing I didn't like about this Stroud living area. No real kitchen. No real way to make food. So that's the gist of this variation of the ship. Let me show you real quick the second variation of the ship. I guess I might as well show you in the ship builder. We're going to click on this. We're going to shift it over and make it another living quarters, which is funny. And then we're going to delete this 3x1. We're going to grab randomly a 2x1. We have one there with the captain's quarters. That keeps our colors in place. We'll slap it here. We'll actually change it to... Ooh, which one was it again? Allenworth A or B? Off the top of my head, I don't remember which one it's supposed to be. I guess I'll just fix it after. And then this storeroom, we make another one right there. Now let's go commit that and take a look to see if it did it right. Okay, I checked. B is correct, but this didn't go right. I think that needs to be a companionway. Let's see if that does it. Okay, so that's weird. We switched it to a companionway. It ruined the layout. And then I switched it back to a storeroom. And then I removed the 2x1 hab and put it back into place. And now I got the layout that I want. So again, we're in the cargo area and we go up here to the main hub. And then we have this companionway, right? To which we have a door here to the hab. That window deletes the stove area because we don't need it, but we still have a sitting area. You know, we can flip-flop this. The A-hab will work here if we want to put that, the toilet there. We could make that a window too, right? There's room for a window there at this point. Oh, there's a TV there. I didn't notice. You can sit down and watch a little bit of TV while sitting there. But anyway, this is the deep sleep hab. That's one of the reasons why I have this in particular variation idea in mind. There's a door here. If there's people who need to get some sleep and they don't want to be disturbed by the other activities in the ship, people going this way, people going this way to engineering, there's a hab, 4 beds, and a door. And then we go through here to the engineering area. One of my previous variations of this ship, the engineering area, had a break room too. So we have a below deck
I'm ready to listen.
rest area that I do believe also... Where did the beds go? Were they supposed to be here? Do I need to move that window to get those beds back? Or was it supposed to... Yeah, the beds were on this side. Okay, well that's something to keep in mind. If we want to get some beds back, we can't have as many windows. Do we need more beds? I don't know. It's an option if we want it. But this is supposed to be a lower
Always a
deck
pleasure.
break rest area, which is a lot of facilities for 8 crew. I'm not gonna lie. Like 2 kitchens, but only 1 all-in-one berth? Maybe. I don't know. So now that I've shown you the internals, let's build it. So scene here, exploded down to just its habular components in place. We see what this ship looks like raw. Now, one of the unfortunate things about the dead black, completely the color scheme that I had is it doesn't allow you to see details very well. So you can see here, I've recolored it to like whitish grayish so that you can get a better look at what all is going on here. Now, the habs are in perspective in the exact same spot they were before, with windows sparsed all around. I haven't removed this marker. I've left the windows. You can do your own research with the windows. You know, the only thing that I moved out that I maybe didn't need to move out was the Hope Tech spine. Now, this ship started its life as either a Crimson Fleet White or a Spacer Hyena. I can't remember. So as such, it started its life off as a Class C ship. You go capture one of those, you can launch pad this. Some of the components on here are original to that ship. Some, like that Nova Galactic hab, probably wasn't originally the living quarters, but it was a Nova Galactic hab, and this Nova Galactic front piece here, which kind of fit nice onto this part. And then we turned it into Stroud. Slowly, Stroud. We have 3, 4, 5, 6 lengths of Stroud down here, starting with the engine brake, and then we have the Nova cowling 2LLT, just, finishing it off, giving it that look. These porthole windows, as you noticed, were going right about there, and then this thing has always kind of been there. There was one variation where we had a companionway here, and this was back one, and that just lets you give a look out the top there. Continuing with the engineering section, this ship is a combination of form and function. Form and function, which is why we have a Demios wing here, just kind of giving the side a little bit of interest. And then we have a bunch of these frickin' things. Stroud mid bracers. If it's blue, it goes on this side of the ship. I thought there were 3 of those. There are 3 of those. Here's the other one. Oh, we got pieces in the way here. These guys, these aesthetic dudes here. These aesthetic dudes go up and over all the mid bracers, because one of the great things about Stroud mid bracers is they are generally lacking in a bottom hook point, which means we can use them to do interesting stuff. So I have something that goes there. Is it this piece? Yes, the cowling. We'll stick that there because we need a hook point, and I believe that's where it went before. We have our stack here. Reactor, tank, grav drive. I'm using one of these tanks. Initially, this had large ball tanks, but I had to get rid of the large ball tanks. So assuming whatever star yard you're working at has these points, has these components, what you do is we press dupe. Oh, not down, dupe. Oh, you see how it's green there? Stop. It's now hidden in there, and it hides rather nicely. Do the same thing with this wicked 39 reactor. This started off as a Class C ship, and it was Class C for a while, but I turned it into a Class B once I got a high enough level that I could have a 39 reactor. I replaced my 35, or was it even a 35? I think it was a 35 Class C reactor with a 39 Class B. It lowered my weight, allowed me to add more aesthetics. I had to change out my weapons to match it, and you know, everything else. I always had the Class B grav drive, this guy here, which sits right there. But it was just a win-win situation. Didn't need to be Class C. Didn't need to be Class C. We take that. Oh, it dupes up first, dupes down. Oh, look at that. Dupes up first always, dupes down. Oh, look at that. So this is just generally our total package engineering wig. All our engineering's here. Our reactor, our fuel tank, and our grav drive, all hidden within these bracer pieces, allowing all the aesthetics. And then you're going to see we have clippy glitches, like that reactor right there. That's okay. We just stick that there. And then another one of these goes right about there. So we're not done with the hidden aesthetics, because we have this cowling right here. And what's significant about that cowling? See, what we do is we take that cowling, we slap this weapon mount plate to it. Then we move the cowling out of the way. Then we grab our 1500 Dogstar reactor. We decided to use premium components with this ship, and the Dogstar 1500 or 28T is pretty much one of the best shield generators in the game. There's one better, but it's way heavier, and it's Class C. So we hide that in there. I think at one point I may have made this like a bit of a lander, or it's actually, you can save weight by making that a lander, because you're going to notice this cowling is mass 5, this lander is mass 2. So if we say duplicate this lander, put it there, press our little tricky button. Oh no, we have to do the dupe first. So press dupe, let it be a thing, slip it into place. We end up with a redundant amount of landers doing this, but it does award us the opportunity to have less weight if we really want to squeeze out that little bit extra. It's not necessary for this build. As you can see, we have 99 mobility, which is cheese, but I decided to allow it. I don't think we're going to feel a lot of difference between 99 and 100 mobility. This is a big ship, and there was basically no aesthetics I wanted to compromise on. Again, we could just go ahead, delete that, and by the time we delete all these windows, we get our 100, right? So you have options. You have options. But we take our cowling piece, slip it in there, flip, 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 cancel, glitch it into place. Now it hides that shield, which isn't that necessary because there's plenty of room on the side we could have put it. Our engines are Slayton Aerospace 4330s, which are one of the most powerful engine sets. Like, this engine set's amazing because we can have 6 of them. They have variations to stack 6 of them, and they'll allow you to move a fair weight ship. I ended up in the beginning building a lot of ships with these engine sets because it's just nothing really beat them until I got in later levels. Even other engine sets that are more powerful are also way heavier, so they end up kind of canceling the gains out. The only other engine set that holds up to it is the 5330s that I use on the Caterpillar, that I use on my cargo ships. They're Class B, and 4 of these will outperform 6 of these, I think, off the top of my head. But for this ship, this is the winning ticket. These guys right here. And then of course we have our Stroud cap foretop just kind of melding in. They built Slayton and Stroud to go together, which is why it's ironic that they had a bit of a conflict there in the main story. And then we got to connect it to the main ship. And we do that with these guys. These engine bracers. Which is a bit early and premature to put into place. We have all sorts of aesthetics to fix here. These, in particular, Teo side caps. I decided they felt and looked really nice going all along the side of this ship. All along the side of this ship. There should be even more. There should be this one here. Wait. I don't think there's supposed to be one there. That doesn't look right. Did I move a window out of place that needs to go back? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Because where it does have to go, and we have to do some trickery to get it into place. So let's just take this pupper here, slap it there real quick, slap this up here, and then, okay, so you're not going to be able to do this, obviously, at the Stroud-Eklund. You have to go over to Teo to do this. Or Cheyenne is actually an excellent option. It has Teo and Stroud parts. Once we have it there, we press dupe. Or no, I'm doing this wrong. Move this out of the way. Put this there. Put this up. Okay, yeah. All that dialogue doesn't mean anything. You could do this at Stroud. Press dupe. It goes down. And then that popper melds together, which makes sense. You know, we have this whole nice side section here, nice and smooth, and then boom, we meld that into there. Put that back into place. And then we have the same thing on this side too. Let's get our lander though. That guy goes right there. And this guy goes right here. And this guy has a couple front-facing pulse lasers. They're turrets. So sometimes on a cruising ship, I like to have turrets. They'll just spew out laser beams and chisel away at any freaking nuisance ships that are trying to attack us. So that, you know, when we do hit them, they get deleted. Also, you know, I had to bolster this ship with more weapons than I actually need to make the crew count, right? I wanted to have 8 crews on this big cruiser, or else what the frick is the point? I almost feel like I need more to get 9 crew. Like, how many more? Oh, I can't duplicate that here. They don't sell it here. It's kind of dumb. You know, we can hack in a little bit more. If, do we have Teo plates here? We do have Teo plates. We could take that. We could dupe one of these, slap it there. Still not 9 crew. Oh. We need too damn many of these things. And they already have 4 power. No, they only have 3 power. I could have 4 of them. Well. Hey, we can make a modification. That'll hide in there. So it'll just seem like the one that is there is more powerful. Maybe even like sometimes if you just go like this and then click OK, it does like a weird dupe like that. And then, well, take this off the top. How many of these can we do? 3? Really? And then we can put one there and just make it seem like there's one super powerful like beam generator coming off of it. Well, that's just absurd, bud. That's just absurd. Either way, I had 2 of them. One here, one here. For when I'm doing ship combat and need to capture a ship, that's generally enough. That generally gets the job done. We have our crosslink tubes that go right there, which explains why there's no Teo that comes into there. That's pretty much the engineering section right there, bud. All our engineering, everything, all our working components. Everything here is just living area. Now, we do have the previous mentioned variation, but it's not much different, right? You have a Stroud-Eklund 2x1 quarters here, or you can make it a computer, or you can make it whatever the frick you decide you want. And then we would simply remove that and put in a 3x1 hab. I'm just going to leave it with this variation for this demonstration, but I did find I had to put this thing here, save the changes, come back into editor, change that to companionway, save the changes, and then I changed that back to storeroom. Then I moved this out of the way, snapped it back into place, and then I finally got the internal layout that I wanted. Otherwise, it put a door here and made you go through the hab to get to engineering, which I did not like. Let's try to avoid that. Our little spine goes here. If you put anything like a companionway or storeroom there, it will not make a link. It'll make it go through here, then through back here, then to here. It's dumb. And as mentioned, Stroud has one with one side. And I will demonstrate this real quick. We should have that Stroudy boy here. There. You see, these guys have no door on that side. So you'd think logic would dictate that if we wanted to save weight, we could flip this around, slap it there, make it a storeroom. It would make a path go directly through, right? You'd think that would make sense. You'd think that the game mechanic would work that way. No, it doesn't. It really, 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 really wants to put a door right here. Really, really, it refuses to not put a door right here. So much so, you end up having a door to here and or a door to here, and then that's it. It wants to make a door here to connect to here and to here, but you can't because there's no door connection. So you just end up with no door, and you end up getting your bottom of your ship separated from the top of your ship, so it doesn't work. But that goes there either way. And then of course we have our landing bay that goes here, and you know, you need some room to get in under the bridge, obviously. I think an earlier version of this I had a side lander. Docker, I put it there to compartmentalize our input, and it fits there. We could theoretically put it other places if we want. We could even put it on top. Used to be, that's what this was all about. This was the Docker, but when I optimized my design and compartmentalized my entry points, I decided I didn't want a freaking Docker going into this area of the ship. It didn't make any sense. We're trying to do ergos and feng shui here, but I'm not even sure I'm using that word correctly. Across the front here, we have 3 tail plates. Come on now. 3 tail plates. And because I didn't want to have the same freaking weapons all the time, I ended up trying these things. I forget where I bought them. Disruptor 3330s Helion beams. 2.5 fire rate, 39 hull damage, 39 damage, max power 4. So we can only have 3 of these. They do put the hurt on. Particle 117. Obviously not the best weapons we can have, not the worst weapons we can have. They do the job though. Again, sometimes it's just I wanna put something different on my ship. And of course we have the legendary Cabot C4. If implemented correctly, we generally lack ladders. It goes right there, buds. All around, we're using the Nova Galactic NG-15 landers, because that's kind of like what the Abyss Trekker used. The Abyss Trekker had externally mounted landers. I forget which ones they were, but it had externally mounted landers. Now, at one point, I did have all underneath landers on this ship, and of course it took up hab space, so this opened up hab space, allowed me to make it better. And we used the one, because this thing has variations, right? We can go like that. Oh, it just has 2 variations, either a normal or one with the, like they call it the 4. It has built-in braking engines. Now, I don't have it here, but that's because I have this big braking engine here. So that's our primary braking engine, and then this is just for balance. I figure we kind of need braking engines on both sides. we can like split the difference, or we can improve upon things by maybe taking this guy and going like that. You know, oh, geez, that made it dirty. Yeah. Or not. It's up to you. Aesthetically, is that where the Deimos wings go? No, I think it goes back one. Which means there's nothing on the side of the landing bay. And then this is going to go in place once we build this little section here. Now, even without this lander, right? These NG-15s have 2 thrust. 2, 4, 6, 8. That's 1,600 mass. Now go look at our mass there, 1,580. We have all the lander we need with just the 4. We have all the lander we need with just the 4. But for lore, for lulz, I added this extra lander right here. Initially, I had an NG-15 tucked into there, but when I managed to optimize the ship and I got the perfect layout out bottom, I went with this guy. Just streamlined into there, because that's the thing. Like, imagine a ship with this little connection in the middle, landing on a planet with 2 gravity, and it only has outside landers. That didn't make sense. I felt like we needed a little bit of support in the middle. So I did initially have... Oh, I can't do NG-15 landers here. I did initially have one of these guys, like, hanging out in the middle. That kind of ruined my inner aesthetic, so I ultimately didn't like it there. I like this better. Just a little bit of support in the middle. So here, how do we do this? Well, one clue is if I take these guys and put them like that. As you can see, we have Galleon cargo holds. They say Teo on them. 1,200 rated. All in all, we get a total of 2720 cargo. That's vanilla cargo. It's more like 3,000 with my buffs, 4,000 I think with Sam Co, which is lots. 2720 is roughly equivalent to what I got out of the shield breaker at the beginning of the game, and it got me far before I got into outposting and needed to haul a lot of resources. But you could go far with that much cargo, especially if you're not into outposting. I slap one there. I slap one there because we're starting to form the rear nacelle. And then one of these go here, right? But before we put that there, let's just dupe one of these up and remove that. And then put one of these Stroud engine bracers in here. And then we'll dupe that up because it wants to dupe up. And then we'll dupe it down. And that's what we have for this nacelle. Because one unfortunate thing about these cargo bays is they're solid, or they're missing a spot, which is fine along here, where it kind of matches the lines of the ship, but not so fine here. And there's no cargo bay that's square all around that's lower. We only have that one that's huge, and then that's going to blow our weight range. But we needed this here just to hold on this cover plate so that we didn't see this line here, right? Covers that up. And then we have our engine nacelle assembly slaps there. That slaps there, right? Absolute slapper. See, you can't even tell. You can't even see it. But that's our little cargo cluster there, which is not necessarily intended to be a cargo cluster lore-wise. Sometimes I like to locate my cargo bays in some way that makes sense. Like, oh, you could put it off one of the habs or off the lander just to say, let's pretend there's a door that goes into it, kind of accessible. Oh, I guess you could access this cargo cluster from this point here if there was like imaginary a door back there, but there isn't imaginary a door back there. We could do glitches where I put this thing here and then we put this thing in there like this. And then you'll see something internally that kind of looks like it wants to be a door. But it's not. It's a window looking like into... It'll just see the wall that makes up this thing. But those lines kind of fit with this. To look at it quickly from afar, it works. So other than the fact that one of my EMPs is located here. Frick, how many freaking EMPs is that now, bud, to get 9? 1, 2, really? We can't have that many EMPs. We were maxed out with 4. Yeah, we have a bit of a deficit here. It's like we want more crew, maybe. Well, it's like we would need to set up another turret. Maybe get rid of that marker and we could put another turret here. Maybe rear facing. I initially wanted these to be side facing, but it wouldn't let me. Like it reds out. Which, you know, we can hack it. We can hack it if we put that there and then put this here and do a flippy flip glitch. It'll do. It'll do. But that's this guy. And I know what you're saying. It's like, okay, you build us this fancy ship, but what about seeing it in action? Yes, but I've already destroyed the Crimson Fleet in this playthrough. I can't just jump into Crix anymore. I guess I could take on a... What do you call it? A Vanguard quest. How about a takeoff shot?
Engines firing. Here we go.
Yeah, can you imagine that with less landers? It wouldn't even make sense. We fly amongst the starfield, turning on the recording strategically wrong if we want to overlook a loading screen. What is that thing that is blue? A UC responder. Well, I have no business with you, Mr. Blue. I'm trying to fly and find myself to clear the UC skies. Something to that effect, anyway. There they are, a spacer scarab? Really? Really, is that it? Okay, well, you're deleted. Let's turn on my laser beams. Let's see how well they work. They're front firing, aren't they? Oh, look at that. These are actually good laser beams. Oh yeah, these actually have some hull damage. Oh boy, pull it back, pull it back. You're OP, bud, you're OP. Let's turn up the EM cannons, bud. Let's turn up the EM cannons. Lock on, engines, blast. Ooh, those are some powerful frickin' EM cannons to begin with. A spacer scarab. Come on, engines, boom. Oh no, they're OP. Even though it was just EM, I frickin' destroyed him. And that's what happens sometimes, bud. When you build yourself a good ship, you actually need skill to not destroy other ships. Well, flying amongst the UC skies, that is the Abyss Trekker killer, the Leviathan. I know you enjoyed this. Okay, that's enough, bud. You can calm down. And you can like and subscribe and come back for more after checking me out on Kick. What? I didn't press a button. What was that all?